So, you're thinking about moving to Knoxville and you're curious about different neighborhoods in the area. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of South Knoxville as we know it. What's great, what's horrible, and does it matter for you? Stay around and check it out. All right, so South Knoxville, pros and cons. So South Knoxville, first of all, is huge. So I just want to say that it's hard to really make blanket statements about the pros and cons because depending on where exactly you are in South Knoxville, it doesn't apply, this pro or this con. So that could be its own con in and of itself, is that South Knoxville, you've got very expensive housing and then you've got very not expensive housing. So some of the pros about South Knoxville, something that I love about South Knoxville is that it is up and coming, and I mean this in the best possible way. Sevier Avenue is one of the places in South Knoxville that has just really exploded. Even over the past couple years, you've got breweries, awesome restaurants, like such good restaurants, great food. I mean, and it's super close to the river. You can walk to downtown. You could even walk to games, which I've done that before. My husband and I, we've walked to football games from Sevier Avenue. So Sevier Avenue and that whole scene is pretty cool. And then there's also something coming in called Kern's Flagship. So there's an old Kern's bakery. And this is what I mean when I say up and coming. A con to me right now of South Knoxville is that there's not a ton of shopping. The gym scene is horrible. Like there's some like 24-hour fitness places, which I am a member of one of those. So I'm not saying that. I'm just, if I could, I want all the boutique gyms. I want all the boutique gyms, okay? I want the cycle bar and the yoga studio, and I want hot yoga, and I want the hot cardio thing, okay? Like I want options, and there is not that in South Knoxville. Like there's a CrossFit gym and then some like 24-hour stuff. So that to me is a definite con. However, when I say up and coming, for example, Kern's Flagship, that is going to be a food court slash like shops slash there's going to be a boutique gym in there. So I'm excited about that because I have options. So con, not a lot of great shopping choices. And also when it comes to grocery shopping, your options are Food City and Kroger, which aren't horrible. Those are changed, but it's not like you have really great like markets or things like that in the South Knoxville area, even though, you know, on the weekends in Seymour, for example, there's a farmer's market, or sometimes one of the coffee shops has like a little farmer's market type situation. So that is a pro though about South Knoxville, because if you're in the area of South Knoxville closer to downtown, then you can easily access the big farmers market on Saturdays that happens downtown. So you're accessible to places like the UT Stadium, Gay Street, Market Square. You're not far from that stuff. And even Cumberland Avenue. So that's definitely a pro. And then also a pro about South Knoxville is access to parks. So one of those is called Baker Creek Preserve, and that is a huge park for bikers and trail runners. Really great space. We also have Imes Nature Center. We've got the Urban Wilderness, and you're also close to, there is a trailway that goes like that bike path. You can take that bike path essentially from South Knox all the way into downtown, all the way to West Knox, all the way out to Cedar Bluff. So you are well connected when it comes to trails and riding your bike, etc. So that's pretty cool. A con when it comes to South Knox is traffic. So when I think about South Knoxville, I think of it as like a triangle, okay? So you've got downtown here, and then you've got Alcoa Highway, you've got Chapman Highway, and then you've got John Sevier. So Alcoa Highway, I grew up here. I left in like 2007. I came back in around 2012. And all that being said, as long as I can remember, Alcoa Highway has always been under construction. And like right now, the construction is freaking insane. It's like, what's happening here? So that is a definite negative. So Alcoa Highway may or may not have a negative connotation as to its safety. Some people may or may not call it I'll kill you highway because it's like super intense. Also, if you want to get a speeding ticket, that's where you would go do it. Don't speed on Alcoa Highway because you're going to get caught, my friend. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. But you also have Chapman Highway, which is also horrible, especially at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Wall-to-wall traffic. It can be very dangerous. It can be curvy, and people are crazy. And sometimes people walk down Chapman Highway. It's not safe, okay? So that is a definite negative. It's like the streets, the main thoroughfares are probably overly too crowded and also unsafe. Now, what is great about Chapman Highway, as an example, and when we talk about South Knoxville and convenience, if you are wanting to know, where can I live in Knoxville that is the most convenient to Dollywood? The answer is South Knoxville, because you can take Chapman Highway all the way down into Sevierville Pigeon Forge and straight to Dollywood. So, I mean, you got to take a turn, but you know what I'm saying. It's your most convenient location in the Knoxville area. If you want to be accessible to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Douglas Lake, then South Knoxville is definitely your option. Now, South Knoxville is also great because you have water options. Like I said, Douglas, and then you also have the Tennessee River. So from Tennessee River down, that's all South Knoxville. And if you just go about 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside South Knoxville, you are to to Douglas Lake. I was going to say the Douglas Dam. It is the Douglas Dam, but it's also the lake. Not only that, South Knoxville is going to be your most convenient place for the most part, besides Holston Hills, to get to the brand new Buc-ee's. So at the time of this filming, that brand new Buc-ee's is not yet done. It's not ready for people. And South Knoxville is convenient, again, to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. So definitely a great place for that. Another kind of thing and sad part about South Knoxville is that it gets a bad rap. So I'm from West Knoxville. My husband's from South Knoxville, and he makes fun of me, and he says like, oh, I'm hoity-toity because I'm from West Knoxville. And it's kind of like a football rivalry. For example, I've heard in the past, for example, like we think the University of Tennessee Vols, go Rocky Top, has big rivals. And a lot of those people would be like, you're not even our rival. Like I've heard Florida fans be like, you're not even a rival of ours, okay? Well, here's my point. West Knoxville, I didn't even know South Knoxville existed growing up, okay? And I'm from here. So what I have to say to him is, sorry about your luck. You care more about West Knoxville than I even knew about South Knoxville. But my point is, a con about South Knoxville is it gets a bad rap. Which is sad because it's got so much water frontage, so much river frontage, and you have some super cool like houses. You've got super kind of swanky neighborhoods, awesome parks. So overall, it is a really cool place. It just historically has not had the biggest, best connotation with it. And I will say that South Knoxville does not have Target. There is no Home Goods. There is no Ulta. There is no TJ Maxx. Like, you've got to go west or you've got to go to the Bearden area for that stuff. So that's a con for me for sure. But considering the fact that we kind of go back and forth in terms of hanging out downtown Knoxville and then also going towards Pigeon Forge, because I live in Seymour. I live just outside of the Knox County line. So I'm just outside of South Knox. My husband works in South Knox, essentially on the river. So now I'm pretty well inducted to the South Knox area, and I will say it is convenient for what we do in terms of using both downtown and Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area. So those are some pros and cons about South Knoxville. I also think that South Knoxville, when it comes to property values, you're not gonna lose because it is so up and coming. We have so much investment going on here, and also South Knox offers waterfront houses by way of there's an area called Lakemore Hills that give you the same kind of feel as like a Cherokee Boulevard, which is across the river, but at a much cheaper price point. So those are some pros and cons about South Knoxville. Be sure to comment, let me know your thoughts about South Knoxville. Now, some people have trolled me in the past about South Knoxville, so I hope you won't troll me, but if you feel the need, hey, you do you, and I will see you on the next video.